Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to explain transactional isolation levels. 4 years back, I have put in my same channel a video on Spring transaction using proxy concept, which I got a good response. And post that, I thought of putting some related videos on transactional management, but due to some time constraint, I could not put. From yesterday onwards, again, I started my channel. Uh, started with Java design patterns. So where I have uploaded 3 videos on design patterns using Java on factory pattern, abstract factory pattern, and singleton pattern. In singleton pattern video, initially for first 3 minutes, there is some sound issue has come, sound quality issues, but please bear with that and apologize for that. And after after around, I think, after few minutes, I think couple of minutes, you will definitely get a lot of stuff from singleton design pattern, so which covers 30 minutes or 35 minutes of video. Now, in this video, I'm going to explain transaction isolation levels. So, generally, what is a transaction? Transaction is nothing but a group of SQL operations. Okay, a transaction nothing but a series of SQL operations, nothing but a transaction. And even a single statement, a single DB statement is also considered as a transaction. And even a group of DB statements also can be considered as a transaction. And what is a transaction isolation levels? So before studying these transaction isolation levels, let me explain about with you what is actually a transactional concurrency. Concurrency in the transactions. Okay. So in concurrency in the transactions means, say for example, I have a table. I have a table. Okay. Say this table is associated with some columns. Let us take this as some account related table. So which is having some primary key column ID, and there is an amount. There is an amount column. There is an amount column. Okay. And so what will happen is in this ID is associated. There is actually a record with A, and an amount is 1,000. Okay. And there is also one more record with B, and amount is say 500. Okay. Now, for example, two threads. So let us talk in a multi-thread environment. When we say concurrency, concurrency is nothing but parallel processing. So when I say parallel processing, say for example, two threads are invoking. So one thread is trying to access this record, and another thread is trying to access this record. So one thread is trying to access record A, and another thread is trying to access record B. So what will happen in this scenario is, uh, these are two parallel threads that are executing on two separate records. Okay, here there is no chance of concurrency issue that is occurring. So this is a concurrent approach, but there is no concurrency issue that is being occurring. Okay, now if one more thread is operating on the same thread, that means if two threads are operating on the same record A, okay, then there is a possibility of concurrency issue. That too, when if two threads are trying to read A, then there is no operation. Say for example, thread 1 is trying to read operation. Thread 2 is also trying to read. Thread 1 is trying to read. Thread 2 is also trying to. R means read. I'll be just, so in this entire example, in that so I will be, what I'll be doing is R for read and W for write. Okay, I'll be doing like that. So if thread 1, if thread 1 or transaction 1 is trying to read A, transaction 2 is trying to read A, then there is no issue. So when there will be issue is if transaction 1 is trying to write some value to A, and transaction 2 is trying to read some value from the same A, then there might be, I'm not telling there is always, but then there might be some concurrency issues. Okay. Similarly, if transaction 1 is trying to read some, transaction 1 is trying to read some record, and transaction 2 is trying to write some on the same record, then there might be some problem. So these are all called transactional concurrency issues. And to avoid transactional concurrency issues, so we are actually dealing with transaction isolation levels. So transaction isolation levels deals with to avoid transactional concurrency issues. So now you understood, right? When these transactional concurrency issues occurs, so when T1, when there are two transactions, T1 and T2, okay, when T1 is trying to perform write operation on A and T2 is trying to read operation on A, then there might be possibility of concurrency issues. When T1 is trying to perform read operation on A and T2 is trying to perform write operation on A, then there might be concurrency issues. When T1 is trying to perform write operation on A and T2 is trying to perform some read operation on B, so there are two different records. A and B are two different records. So then there are no concurrent issues. Okay. So let us deal with now first with write read problem. So we call it as write read problem. So what do write read problem do is, say for example, so T1 first reads record A. Okay. So let us assume this is a banking table. Let us assume this is a banking table. And I have bank associated with ID, with an ID primary key, and this is amount. Okay, this is amount. Okay, now ID value A will have 1000. ID value will have 1000 now. So when transaction 1 is trying to read A value, so this will be loaded into some main memory. So this is your disk. Your table is stored in disk. Okay, your database table is stored in disk. Okay, and this is your main memory. This is your memory. Okay, this is your memory. Now when transaction 1 tries to read A, so it will read it, that this value 1000 will be stored in your memory. It will be stored in memory. Okay, now transaction 1 tries to write some value to A. So what it tries to write, say it tries to deposit some amount, so it tries to add some amount, 500 to A. Now 1000 will be read as 1500. It will be updated as 1500 in memory. Now transaction 2 tries to read the value of A now. So in the real-time scenario, when two transactions tries to operate on the same record, this is a banking table, right? So when two transactions try to operate on the same account, when it is a joint account, say transaction 1 is operated by person 1 and transaction 2 is being performed by person 2. Person 1 is operating from one system, person 2 is operating from another system, and two requests are coming as two separate threads in the web application, and these two threads are acting parallelly. Okay. Now what will happen? Now this read operation A is performed before this is committed. Before this is committed. So that means because this transaction 1 and transaction 2 are operating in a multi-threaded environment, so there are two separate threads that are associated, and the behavior of thread is associated with the operating system scheduler. So in operating system, what will happen is thread 1 will be preempted. That means it will be waited, it will be stopped, and the CPU scheduler is given to transaction T2. So that means once a transaction 1 has written to 1500 to memory, it has not yet committed actually. So in a transaction concept, when it is committed means when the data is written to non-volatile disk. So we call it as a non-volatile disk. That means a permanent storage. So that is called committed. So before the commit of this transaction 1, transaction 2 has started and has read the value of A. So when it has read the value of A, it has got 1500. It is reading 1500. Now what will happen is, now transaction 2 based, now it will see the amount as 1500, and it will decide that okay, now in my account I have 1500. Now it is more than 1000. Okay, I will do some operations. So it will think about doing some operations on that. Okay, so it will do some it will think about planning some decisions or something like that. Now, so now what will happen is, now here before committing there is an error occurred here in a program actually. So because there some exception has been generated in the program. So what will happen is, so there will be a rollback happens here. There will be a rollback happens here. Rollback happens at transaction 1. So before commit operation takes place, so there is an error occurs. So there is a rollback operation occurring here. So when rollback operation, what is a rollback operation means, whatever transaction 1 has done the operations, all the operations will be rolled back. So in this scenario, what is the operation it has done? It has added 500. Okay. Now it will roll back now. Now it will roll back means it will detect 500. Now your A value now will be 1000 only. Your A value is 1000 only. Okay. Now finally your A value is 1000 only. That means in your database it is still 1000 only. But transaction 2 was thinking that it has read it has the A value, the amount is present as 1500 and it has taken some decisions. So it means, so this problem is called dirty read problem. So this is called dirty read problem. What is dirty read? This is called dirty read actually. This problem is called dirty read. This problem is called dirty read. Okay. So what dirty read problem tells is transaction 2 has read a value which is not committed, which it has read an uncommitted value actually. It has read an uncommitted value. Okay. Transaction 2 has read an uncommitted value. So that's why it is called dirty read. I think hope everyone is clear on this. So transaction 2 has read an uncommitted value, which is a dirty read. Suppose if there is no error here, everything would have gone smooth actually. So if there is no error here, transaction 1 would have been committed here. There is no rollback. So transaction 1 would have been committed. And this 1500 would have been flushed to the disk. So that means your 1000. So once commit operation has been executed, your 1000 is changed to 1500 in your original main table, which is called which is in your disk permanent storage. And now 1500 anyhow transaction 2 also has read the value as 1500 and your main table also has 1500 and there is a consistency here. So dirty read occurs only when there is an error that has occurred, okay, in such a way that transaction 1 has rolled back and transaction 2 has read an uncommitted value that has been performed by T1. So then a dirty read occurs. So this is also called uncommitted read, dirty read or uncommitted read. Okay, this is also called uncommitted read. Okay, and hope everyone is clear about the dirty read and uncommitted read. Okay, there is another scenario I'll tell you. So what is another scenario is, so in this scenario what will happen is, so the earlier in dirty read it is a write read problem. If you clearly see, transaction 1 has written a value and transaction 2 has read a value which is not committed by transaction 1, and thereby if there is an issue that occurred in transaction 1, transaction was rolled back the value, and transaction 2 has seen an inconsistent value. Now we will see read write problem. We'll see read write problem. We'll see read write problem. So what do the read write problem tells is, say for example, I have transaction 1 and I have transaction 2. Okay. Let us assume, let us have a railway reservation counter. Okay. And say particular sleeper berths, SL, sleeper berths. So this is, say, let us assume SL is the primary key for here. Imagine SL is will not be the primary key in the real scenario, but for our understanding, say SL is a primary key. Okay. Now, let us assume sleeper berth has only one seat. Now, let us assume only one vacancy, only one berth is available now. Now, transaction 1 has read SL. So it will see that one berth is available. So this is one person, first person logged into reservation site. So person 1 has issued a read command on the sleeper coach query record. So it has seen one seat is available. So before transaction 1 decides to book this seat or purchase this seat, Person 2, person 2 has read SL. So it is also seeing one available. And now he has actually uh, purchased this. So he has purchased this. That means he has written. He has written. Purchased means what will happen? Now 1 will become 0 because he has now purchased the ticket, and he has also committed. Okay, he has purchased and committed. After committed only it will become 0. Okay, after committed only it will become 0. Now, 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 now transaction 1, when it tries to purchase now, that means it tries to purchase means right here. Purchase means right operation. When it tries to purchase now, it will see the record as 0. So before writing, it will try to again read again, because now it wants to see purchase. Now when it tries to read, and before write only, he will see the record as 0, and he cannot write now, because first time in the same transaction, first time when he has seen the number of births available as 1, before he makes a decision to purchase, another transaction T2 has read that record, purchased that seat, and committed the transaction, and now the data has become 0. Now it has updated 0. Now when transaction 1 now decides to purchase, now when again it tries to read the same record, now he sees a different value which is 0. See, if you see, this transaction 1 hasn't done any operation. It has only done the read operation. First time it has tried to read the record, it has seen the uh, number of births available as 1, and after some time again it tries to read the record, same record. Now it has seen the number of records available as 0. Why? Because transaction 2 in the meanwhile has read that record, has purchased that record, and committed the transaction. Okay, so this is what we call it as unrepeatable read, unrepeatable read, unrepeatable read, unrepeatable read. So unrepeatable read. So this is also called as read committed. This is also called as read committed, because this is trying to read a committed record, but this is the problem here. Earlier, it is trying to read an uncommitted record, that is a dirty read problem. Now here it is trying to read a committed record. This is a problem here. Everyone understood, right? So transaction 1, first time when it has seen when it has read the record, it was showing one value, and after some time when it tries to read the same record, it is showing 0, because in the meanwhile another transaction has updated that value on that particular record and committed that. So this is what we call it as read write and unrepeatable read. Unrepeatable read, or we can also call read committed. Okay, there is a special case also here. So that is called in the same scenario. There is also a special case called which is called phantom read. There is also a special case called phantom read. Phantom read. So phantom read and read committed or unrepeatable read are almost same. So but phantom read is a special case of unrepeatable read. See what will happen in phantom read is, suppose I have a table. Okay, I have a table. So in this table, say it's a transaction T1 and transaction T2. Okay. Now this is a, say for example, a school database, for example, school database. Okay. And in the school database, I am issuing a query. Transaction T1 is issuing a select query. Select query on the number of students present in the school. That means number of records present in the school. So in this is a student database. So this is a student table. In the student table, so the number of records present in the student table is nothing but the number of students present in that particular school. Okay, the number of records present in this table is nothing but the number of students present in the school. So first it will issue a select query on this table to find the number of students. So transaction T2, so this is first person. So a person say this person, say transaction T1 is a principal, okay, T2 is an administrator, okay. In the meanwhile, what administrator, because the school is admitting the students continuously actually. So what will happen is transaction T2 has inserted the records in the table. That means because more than new students are coming, new records are getting added. So transaction 2 has issued an insert command, okay, on records. Now transaction 1, now when it gives it, when it issues select statement again, it will see new records added. In the first time when it has seen say 10 records. Now second time it has seen 15 records. So that means 5 records are nothing but phantom records. So 5 records are phantom records. Why phantom records? Because transaction 1 hasn't done any operations. So the operations are done by transaction 2. So where transaction 1, when second time it has issued a select query, so it has got now 5 additional records which are called phantom records. Okay, this is also called phantom read. Okay, hope everyone is clear on these things. So dirty read, unrepeatable read. Okay, dirty read is also called read uncommitted. Unrepeatable read is called repeatable read, and unrepeatable read is called read committed, and phantom read is a special case of unrepeatable read. Okay, now with this scenario we'll see how we can actually prevent these kind of things. So dirty reads, non-repeatable reads, or which we call it as read committed, and phantom reads. Okay, now so transaction isolation levels, when I set transaction isolation read committed, so this will actually dirty read can be avoided, and non-repeatable read cannot be avoided, and phantom read cannot be avoided. So read uncommitted, dirty read cannot be avoided. So dirty read will occur. Yes means dirty read will occur. Non-repeatable read will also occur, and phantom read also will occur. So repeatable read. So when I say read repeatable read, so dirty read will not never occur. Non-repeatable read will never occur. Phantom read might occur. This will occur. This will occur. And when I say transaction serializable, everything, any read will, dirty read will not occur, non-repeatable read will occur, phantom read will not occur. So serializable is the best transaction isolation level which can prevent these reads. So these reads are issues. So this is serial, but serializable will make operations very slow. So when I say when the moment I say serializable, so there is no concurrency in the transactions. So transaction 1 first will execute all operations, next transaction 2 will execute all operations. So now it has become a serial operation, and thereby there will be no concurrency of the transactions. And now this has become a serial operation which degrades the performance. So that's why though serializable avoids these dirty reads, phantom reads, non-repeatable reads, serializable is not recommended for high performance environments. Okay. And so where do we set these transaction isolation levels? In a typical Spring environment, uh, so this other rate transactional, in my earlier video I have explained what is this other rate transaction, how this will work, will occur. And when I set isolation equal to isolation dot read committed, so I can set different isolations here. Okay, so you can just take this table and you can note it down this table. And so what will happen is when two threads are invoking this method 1, so that means the transactions that occur in this method 1 will follow this read committed isolation level. So when I say read committed isolation level, dirty read will not occur, but non-repeatable read will occur, phantom read will occur. Even I can set transaction read uncommitted also. I can say transaction read uncommitted. Even I can say repeatable read also. Repeatable read. Isolation dot repeatable read. Repeatable read. I can say like this. Okay. So in this way, I can actually use my transaction isolation levels. Hope everyone understood this. And if you like this video, please share your comments and also subscribe for my channel. And in coming videos, I will also be explaining about transactional propagation also. And then I will also be continuing the design patterns course also. And even I will be putting videos on algorithms, and also I'll be putting videos on Java memory model and all these in the coming days. Okay, thank you.